Mr. Cordwa, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'm not sure if you were listening directly to that press conference and you heard, of course, the announcement that Helen Zille not up for re-election in the elective Congress next week. What is the party's official reaction to this?
Her bowing out, from our point of view as the ANC, is actually an admission that she has reached a ceiling politically, and I think the Democratic Alliance too reached a ceiling in terms of capturing what it was described then as a black vote. She tried her best desperately to capture a black vote, and clearly the party has reached a ceiling. And I think her strategic announcement of her bowing out in a manner she did, it was opening a debate within the alliance, of course, for a black leader, because the DA at the moment, in order to hide its real colors, it desperately needs a black leader. And she realized correctly that going in future, she may not be the right person to further to go through what I think is a ceiling at the moment. They desperately need a black leader.
She has also said, Mr. Cordwa, that we could have continued growing under my leadership, but prospects are better under a fresh team that is armed with the new values charter, which they are launching next week. So some might say this is a sign of political maturity, that she has chosen to step aside in the best interests of the party rather than what you're alluding to, which seems to be self-preservation.
Well, I think if you look at the Democratic Alliance under her, even her predecessor, Tony Leon, tried, was a realization that in order for Democratic Alliance to grow, in order to expand its governance in the different spheres, whether it's provinces and so on, there is a desperate need to present it as a non-racial party. And the non-racialism, as they define it, is that you need a diverse leadership that represent all demographic groups in South Africa, which is what they understand non-racialism to be. And obviously, her bowing out is an understanding of that definition of non-racialism. But for us to expand, to capture all these places we want to capture, like Nelson Mandela, Tshwane, Johannesburg, which are predominantly black, in terms of their population, we would, in a way, need a black leader that will help us. That's why, in our view, her bowing out is not in the interest of the party, but she realized that, look, I've reached a ceiling as an individual, I've played my role. Yes, in some areas we've seen a growth of that, but that growth has reached a ceiling in itself.
All right, that's using political speak, Mr. Cordwa. From, I suppose, just a party personal perspective, are you happy that Helen Zille is no longer the leader of, or will no longer be the leader of the Democratic Alliance?
Well, it's not for the ANC. It does not benefit us. She was not a member of the ANC. We'll remember only her for some of the remarks that she made about people in the Eastern Cape to go to Western Cape as refugees. But she played her part in the South African political landscape. And I think she made her contribution. Whoever comes in the TA, they can change faces, sizes, and so on. But the Democratic Alliance will not grow from where it is in terms to dislodge the African National Congress.
But as a political adversary, Mr. Cordwa, and the fact that the DA has grown under her tenure and it's been re-steered in ways that have fed that particular growth, is there any kind of political respect you have for Ms. Zille?
In most instances where Democratic Alliance has grown and actually reduced the support of the African National Congress, it has not been because of the strength of the Democratic Alliance. It has been because of the internal strife in many areas, internal fights, and some of the issues, organizational weaknesses that we have as an organization. So it's not like she was strong or the Democratic Alliance was strong, and these are the issues that we're working on as the ANC now.
So is that the long answer to saying no, there is no political respect for Ms. Zille?
No, as an individual, look, we respect any person in the public discourse, anybody who represents a constituency in South Africa. But to an extent, that individual, we must worship that she was a person that I think she changed the political landscape in South Africa, where as the African National Congress, we hold her in high regard. But to an extent that her bowing out is something that at the end of the day must define a new political landscape in South Africa. We don't share that view.